Hey, what's up, fellow anglers? It's Aaron LeSieur here, and today I'm back out on Folsom Lake. I haven't been out here for a while, and I got up this morning. It was a little bit cooler, a little chilly this morning. I got the sweatshirt on. I was the first one at the ramp. The sun's coming up a little bit later. It rose up at about 6 a.m. And I'm gonna come out here and try to beat the boat traffic. Get on to maybe some top water this morning. I'm gonna try some main lake stuff to show you guys some areas possibly that you can fish. We're gonna hit the island top over here, hit the peninsula, fish around some trees, throw some top water, and then go subsurface for them a little later and see if we can't put something together. All right, let's go fishing. Oh, there we go. That one feels pretty good. This one's on the Ned Rig. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Oh. Oh, that's a good fish right there. Big smallmouth. Holy smokes, look at that thing. Wow, that's a nice one. Okay, first fish of the day right there. So let me tell you what's going on. I tried some top water. I went to kind of the south corner over by one of the dikes over there, threw a whopper plopper around the island just to see if anything was going on top water wise. Then I went into Brown's Marina, threw some top water around some trees, and I threw the aqua view down there, and all I saw were a bunch of carp. So I thought I'd come back out to the peninsula, but the winds picked up pretty good out here, so I don't like throwing the whopper plopper in really, really choppy water. Plus, this water's still pretty warm. It's 74 degrees. So I decided to come over here to Beals and see what was going on these rock piles. And as soon as I came out here, I started to see big schools of fish under the boat. And I got some aqua view footage for you. And you're gonna see these big schools on the Lowrance screenshot. I threw the A-rig out there, let it fall, let it come up, nothing. And then I threw a drop shot, nothing. Got that aqua view out and saw all these fish swimming right out here on this point, and they're about 18 feet right now, right out here. And I threw the aqua view down, schools and schools of fish like that right there. So then I threw the Ned Rig out there, something a little more subtle. First cast, that bad boy right there. Oh my gosh, I got one. Oh, it's a dink. Ah. Oh my gosh, stop it. Well, let's give a quick update here on what is not happening, which is catching fish. I'm at another spot here in Granite Bay. I'm fishing similar areas like that first spot that I caught that smallie on. These fish are stacked up on these humps and anywhere from 15 to 20 feet. I just threw the aqua view down again on this spot here, and there are a ton of fish down there. You can see them all over the graph. I can't get them to bite. I've thrown everything. I've thrown an underspin. I threw a weightless Senko, a drop shot, a Ned Rig, and now this is a weighted Senko, and I pulled it through some of these other schools of fish, and I got a 10-incher to eat. Typical summer bite. These fish are just suspended out here. It's so hard to get them to bite. You're gonna have to probably go through a ton of water in humps just to try to find one or two bites, and then keep kind of doing a milk run through. I'm gonna spend another few minutes here. There's another rock pile only about 300 yards from here. And I'm gonna go try that spot again. I'll try that spot real quick. hit another spot here in Granite Bay, and then just head over to Beals, hit a couple more of those humps and see what's going on. But so far the pattern has been the same. These fish are all in the same depth, that, like I said, 15 to 20 foot zone. I'm throwing all the baits out past them, working the baits through those zones, slow, fast, methodical too, just trying to pick different angles and just trying to get them to bite, just trying to figure out the puzzle out here. I've found them. I've showed you on the aqua view, and you can see on the Lowrance screenshots, they're here swimming around, but man, they got lockjaw for sure. So I made my way over to Beals area. I fished an island out there in about 20 feet, saw a bunch of fish on the graph, caught nothing. Headed over here to the dike, fished around for about 30 minutes. Again, caught nothing. So time to regroup and do it all over again. Hey, what's up, fellow anglers? So I'm back out on Folsom Lake, day 2. Now, I fished around that day that you'll see on the video previously. Found some big schools of fish. You saw them on the aqua view. And I went home and really thought about these fish. And what those fish are, they're schooled up out here. They're not really biting. They're in what's called a neutral state. So I decided, let's try to get these fish to hit on some reaction baits. So I went home and I rigged up some other stuff on all my setups here. I got a spoon, I got a spy bait, I've got a spinner bait. So I'm gonna try to get these baits in front of these fish and try to snap these things, really start, burn that spinner bait through there, do some really jerky action to try to get some of these fish that are in that neutral state to bite, and see if I can't get a pattern going that way. And if I can establish a pattern, I'll hop around to the 2 areas I've already shown you over here. I know those fish are still schooled up over there. I'll try to find maybe 1 or 2 more in this Granite Bay area for you that you can come out and repeat this pattern. And I'll show you some screenshots, obviously, of what we're looking at out here and why these fish are in that zone. So I'm gonna get up here on the front deck, start fishing, looking for these fish out here on my graph again, and try to see if I can put something together and get some more bites today. Okay, let me give you guys an update on what's going on out here. The bite out here has been insanely tough. I haven't gotten a single fish. I got out here, I don't know, mid-morning, went over to Granite Bay, fished those 2 spots. Those fish were still there. I threw everything at them. Slow, fast, spinner bait, a spoon, what else? A spy bait, nada. I said, all right, so I came out to the peninsula, started on the very front, saw a few fish here and there, but nothing big. So I started to come down the peninsula here and just see if I could find anything around 20 feet, because that seems to be the depth that these fish are holding at. And I'm about halfway down. I can see browns from here just straight across. And I found this rock pile. I'll show you guys some screenshots. And there are a ton of fish down there. I got the underwater camera down there, and they're swimming around everywhere. All over my graph, 20 feet. I threw out a buoy to mark the position, and I've got my spot lock on right now so I can stay in this position and kind of fan cast around and hit this from different angles. I even tried, I got this Frenzy nail, 3/8 ounce with a Demiki Ryko on there. I mean, that is one realistic looking crawbait. I threw that around there a little bit. I threw the Ned Rig. Now I'm gonna rotate through and I'm gonna throw the spy bait. I'm gonna throw the nail weighted Senko, the spinner bait, and the spoon. I'm trying to figure out how to trigger these fish to bite. There are so many of them down there. The last thing I'll have to do is maybe try to throw a drop shot at them to see if I can get them to bite. But this is the 3rd spot that I found these fish just absolutely stacked on top of each other, and they won't bite. So at least you guys have some ideas of what to look for out here to find these fish in heavily concentrated areas. Each one of these areas was a island of some sort, or a rock pile that kind of creates a little island here. It's about across 30 yards across in each direction. Those other ones were about the same. And these fish are congregating on these outside or deep water humps, but can't get them to bite. So I'm gonna work on these guys a little bit more, try to throw some more stuff at them. And then I might just head up north and see if maybe some of these fish are biting up north on the rock piles on these steep banks up there. I've got one more rock pile down the way a little bit here that I've caught them on before, and I might try that. I got a lot of time before it gets dark, so that's the status right now. I'm gonna keep trying and get some of these fish to eat. Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna wrap this episode up. Folsom Lake is kicking my butt. It's been some of the most frustrating day and a half of fishing I've had out here in a while. I've gone around the main lake looking at rock piles, typical summer pattern, 20 feet, rock piles, seen them all over the aqua view, can't get a bite. I had one fish in the last day and a half. I cruised up here to the north to come up to this big flat up here. Lots of submerged trees, lots of submerged brush. I came out here and sure enough, I mean, there's bass cruising in this 25-foot range. There's bluegill down there, there's crappie. Can't catch them. I tried, what did I try? I tried a spinnerbait. I tried a weighted Senko. I think that was it that I could get through those trees down there. Oh, I tried a whopper plopper up here where it was a little more shallow too, to see if I could get some fish to come up in these shade pockets in the trees. But the only thing I can hook you up with in this episode is just areas where these fish are right now. And I think once this weather starts to cool off, it's supposed to be 100 again this weekend coming up. These fish are gonna start biting. It's just so tough to catch them out here right now. All right, I'm out here, it's day 3. I know I said I was done on day 2, but I needed to come back out here because I wasn't gonna get out here and not catch some fish or figure something out. So I'm out here today. I'm gonna go back on the main lake and I'm gonna do something a little different. I've already tried, what was that, the Ned Rig, a drop shot, some super slow stuff, Senkos, and some reaction style baits that you saw previously in this video. I'm gonna come out here and try a float and fly. Normally, float and fly is just for the winter, but I've read some stuff. The other guys use it during the summer. It's just not a wintertime deal. And these fish are suspended and they're eating shad. So I don't really know how to throw a float and fly. I've never done it. I went to Fisherman's Warehouse, got a bunch of gear, rigged up some rods, and I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna go through all these spots and see if maybe I'm missing something, that something slow stays right in their face, or maybe I figure something else out, but I'm not giving up. I'm showing you guys kind of the process of how I go about trying to break stuff down, especially when you figured out where they are on the lake. That's the hard part, is finding fish. Then the next step to the piece of the puzzle is once you find them, then you got to figure out how to get them to bite. That's what we're going to try to do today. Let's go fishing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Got him, I got him. Yeah, the Senko. There he is, Another largemouth, okay. Okay, not a big one, but this is the second one. Found these trees submerged down here, just brush actually, and it's in 25 feet, and there are a ton of fish down there. I brought a float and fly out today. Thought I might be able to get a few on that. I've never really thrown the float and fly before, so I kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I tried it for about an hour. And then I found this spot because I went to another spot that you saw previously in the video on day 2. It's the second one I've caught on this spot, little guy, but there's a ton of fish down there and there's got to be some bigger ones. I'll take it though. That's a nice one. And since I haven't been getting bit in the last 2 days that I've been out here, 2 bites in the last 20 minutes, I'll take that right now. And let me show you what I'm using. A weighted Senko. Those fish are pretty far down there. They're anywhere from 14 to 20 feet. So I don't want to wait for a 5-inch Senko to get down there. That'd be painful. It'd take forever for this bait to get down there. So what I got is a weighted hook. It's got a screw in. Get this thing out of here. It's all wound up. It's got a screw lock on it. And you know what? I can't even tell you who makes this hook. I've had these hooks in my box for years, And it's just a weighted hook, so any belly hook weighted is gonna work. This one just happens to have a little kind of slips on there, and it's really small. I couldn't even tell you what the weight is, so you're gonna have to experiment with it to get it down there. And it's a straight hook, and it's got this, like I said, this little screw-in lock, and this is a 5-inch Senko. It's the bluegill pattern, and I put a little chartreuse on the tip. So it's the second bite I've got. Basically, I'm throwing it out there as far as I can, and I'm working it through the trees. I'm lifting it up, letting it fall back down, and I'm just feeling for those trees. And when I get it above the trees, I pull it up just like a foot above the tree. I let it flutter back down again, and they're eating it out there. So like I said, I'm making a long cast. I can see all these fish on my graph. I'm gonna have all the screenshots up for you if they're not already up there. I'm gonna try to catch some more and see if we can't dial in this bite. I'm out here on the peninsula. It could be a lot more fish. You just gotta find these fish out here in the brush piles in 20 feet. That could be the pattern. I don't know, we're gonna find out. Oh, my drag isn't set very tight. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's another one. Ooh, that's a better one. Woo! That was almost a rookie maneuver. Had my drag set pretty loose on that, and I don't think I got a very good hook sit in this one. Yeah. Get over here. Get in the boat. Oh, getting a little bit bigger. Ooh, he choked that bad boy. Might have been on there for a while. Same thing. I'm just cruising around, keep going right over this brush pile out here, and just cruising it. Uh-oh, it's bleeding. And just cruising it. Just bringing it up above that brush pile, and then dropping it right back down. There we go. Oh, that feels like a good one. Got another one on here. Oh, nope, it's a little guy. Ah. But I got bit. Oh, he came off. 1 pounder, okay. I'm really wrapping it up this time. I've fished a lot of different places out here in the last few days, trying to come up with some specific pattern. I'm seeing a ton of fish out deep. It's just really hard to catch fish on this lake right now. Here's the only thing I didn't try. I did not try flipping the trees on anywhere, basically. I threw a few Senkos to the trees, but never something fast moving like a jig. If I was to come back out here again, I would spend a day out here just hitting all the trees on the peninsula, Granite Bay, let's see, Granite Bay and Beals. Seeing if I can get some fish around those areas, because the deep water bite, I mean, that's okay. So I did catch a few doing that. I've got a few areas that I've seen all these fish out here on these submerged trees and in the bushes. And I'm getting bit out here, but nothing big. They've all been 1 pounders. But summer, it's summer. These fish are sitting out here deep. These fish are in 20 feet of water. Tough to get them to bite. I got a few areas for you that you can check and try to maybe come out here and repeat some of this. And then, like I said, it's tough. Try to get out here to beat the boat traffic. I'll show you a few of the things that I did and some of the baits in the wrap-up session. Let's get out of here, I'm hot. Okay, let's do a little wrap-up. I'll show you a couple of the rods that I used. I want to talk about what happened out there on those 3 days. I went out there that 3rd day because I knew where these fish were and I knew I could catch them. So I wanted to go back out there, try some more things, and that's kind of the process you can do when you're out fishing and you can go multiple days, is really try to locate the fish if you know they're there but they're not eating what you're throwing. Mix it up, try different things, try different ways to rig up the bait you know you can catch them on, and figure out the puzzle. And that's what the puzzle was out there. I finally figured out these fish would eat in the trees or around that brush. And I'm gonna go back out there again at some point. And what I'll do this time differently is try to find more areas like that I showed you on those waypoints, and set up my drop shot a little bit differently. So let me show you what I caught them on. The main bait that was getting them was on this 5-inch Yamamoto Senko. Now, one thing to note, I'm not going to go through every bait that I used out there. Check out the fishing report. I go over all the baits that I used and some more, the details on all of those. But these are the two main, well, besides the Ned Rig, which that only caught the one fish, but I don't have one of those rigged up because I did lose it. And it's just basically a 3/8 ounce Ned Rig and a short little, I shortened up a Senko to about that size. It was a shad pattern, and that's what I used on there, and another one of my Dobbins spinning rods. But this was the main bait that was really getting them. And this is that perch colored Yamamoto Senko, 5-inch. I throw it on this worm hook. It's got a screw in lock keeper on there. And this little weight that dangles, if you watch the fishing report, you know that I don't even know who makes this. I've had this in my box for years. And every once in a while I bring it out when I want to get a Senko down there. Beast owner hooks, the Beast series, they make really good hooks like this with a belly weight that's molded on there with a screw lock. And then I don't like to use there's some other belly weighted hooks that have an offset wide gap, but you don't want to do that, put that on there, because it ruins your Senko as you try to make it weedless. You got to work that hook all the way through the bait, and that belly weighted hook will just tear up the front of these baits. So you need a hook that's got a screw lock on it, because basically what I did was just basically screwed this bait on. Try to get it in frame here for you, right in the middle. I screwed it on, and then I made it weedless. So I just stuck it the bottom side of the hook, and then I just barely put it underneath the skin right there, and now I've got it weedless. And you saw me dragging it through those trees, and this little bit of belly weight lets that Senko fall straight down still, and just gives it that a little bit more weight to get it down to that deeper depth, because if you don't have it weighted, it takes a long time to get in there. I mean, if you're patient enough, you could do it, and then it'll actually probably have a slower fall right through the trees, and it might get you another bite or two. I don't have the patience for that, though. Let me show you real quick here. I did have this drop shot set up on a Margarita Mutilator, and it is on a wide gap hook, so I can make this weedless. This is the 7-inch RoboWorm Margarita Mutilator. Now, one thing to note is I didn't get bit on this, but if I was going to go back out there again, I know there's guys getting bit on this right now, throwing it around the trees. I wouldn't throw it through the trees, and I would make this leader from the hook to the weight longer. This is probably, I'm guessing 18 inches, but I would make this about almost 3 feet long. I want this way up here, have my hook another foot or so more to really get this bait up off the bottom, because those fish were not relating to the bottom. They were swimming around. So I want this up higher so it's in their face. And some of that brush down there was about almost 2 feet high. So if you did actually get it through the brush, your bait would be sitting right on top of it. Now, the other thing to note is why you want it weedless, obviously, so you're not getting hooked up in the brush or in the trees. And if you decide to pull it through there, you won't get it hung up and you have to retie this thing again. But I would focus kind of mainly around the outer peripheral of that, or if I saw fish down on those rock piles, I'd get that bait up higher. Another thing I'm going to try again when I go out there, I'm going to back up and show you the rod in a second, what I was throwing the Senko on. But this drop shot I'm throwing on a Dobbins, it's a 683 SF on just a Revo SX. This is the SX20. And again, I used the 20-pound braid as my backing. And then I have a really long leader set on here. It's P-line 15. Actually, I think this one's 10. Might be 15. 10 to 15. 10 will give you a little more action. 15 if you're really kind of in some heavy cover and you want to minimize your break-offs. And I have a longer leader on this one. This is probably a good, that's 7, 14, 20 feet. So in case I do break it off, I don't have to keep retying that leader to the braid. So that's the leader on that. That's the rod. I was throwing the Senko on another Dobbins rod. This is the Fury, and this is the 703 SF. This is the 703, and I've got this on this loose Mach 2. It's the Mach 2 200, the MH 200. Good little setup right there. I was able to control those fish, keep them out above the brush or the trees when I caught them. So those are basically the setups. That's what's going on out there right now. You can go out there and repeat that process. You know where the fish are. You can try other baits or other tactics that fish to your strengths if you don't want to throw these here, but at least you got some areas now and know where those fish are and how they're positioned. And you can run around the lake, find some spots on your own. Like I said, I'll be heading out there again at some point. It's just so hot right now. If I do go out, it's going to be in the really, really early morning hours. I'm going to get out of there by 10 or 11. So again, make sure you're always subscribing to the Instagram page, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, so you can see when new videos are coming out, new content, contests, freebie Fridays, all that good stuff. I'm Aaron LeSieur. Stay focused, fish hard, and I'll see you out on the water.